Whether you're originally from New York or you're visiting New York for the summer, everyone should know that summer in New York is the best time of year. There's always places to go, always people to see, and genuinely, everyone is a little bit more happier that the sun is out. If you are new to the channel, my name is Shanice. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna be touching on 15 things you can do this summer in New York City. I'm currently in the process of planning my summer bucket list. So these are actually some of the things that I have either done or have added to my summer bucket list for 2024. So I wanna give you guys some ideas in case you are planning to have the best time outside in New York City. Okay, so the first idea is learn how to tattoo. Y'all, I haven't seen a lot of people promoting this, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know this, but this is a really unique event that you can do in the city. I got to do this a couple weeks ago and I had so much fun, literally so much fun. I'm a creative person, so things like this, really gets me going. But this event is hosted at FIB Tattoo and Bar, and it's only hosted on Thursdays and Saturday nights. It's typically from 7 to 9, although it really starts at 7:30. You can find tickets for on New York City bucket listers. The ticket is $45 and a complimentary drink is included with it. Once everything is set at the place, you'll be able to go downstairs at 7:30. They have all the supplies waiting for you. You'll be able to tattoo a melon. So they have the melon, the tattoo gun, and a couple different stencils. You can kind of go, you just have the time to play. They don't micromanage you, so you kind of can just learn on your own, just playing with the tattoo gun. And then on top of that, they do like a mini quiz teaching you a little bit more about tattooing. So I did this as a solo date, and I did get lucky because typically they have an even number, so people have to share the melon. So I got lucky because there wasn't an extra person to share it with me, so I got to use the melon by myself. But recommend it if you want to do it for your solo date, or if you do have a friend or partner that you want to bring. I recommend bringing them just so you don't have to share with someone you don't know. But yeah, this is a really fun idea and I really recommend it for this summer. Again, the tickets can be found on New York City bucket listers. I will link all the links for these different events down below in the description box. But you definitely have to visit. That really made me feel like a mini tattoo artist in the making. Number 2 is for people who are interested in sports, more specifically basketball. If you are someone who's interested in basketball, I recommend going to a Liberty basketball game. Liberty is the team for the WNBA here in Brooklyn, New York City. So I recommend going to those games. I love that the WNBA has been, getting more love and being shown a little bit more respect for the ladies who put on in basketball. So if you are in Brooklyn, definitely recommend going to a game. That is something that's on my bucket list. I'm really planning to do that this summer. I went to my first NBA game earlier this year in Atlanta and I truly loved the experience, just the stadium. So I want to do that for the ladies and show support for the ladies as well. On the other hand, you can go to Dyckman basketball to see a game. Dyckman basketball is a huge tournament for top rated basketball players. This is another thing that's on my bucket list. For this summer, they are opening their games on June 9th. This video will come out after then. So by the time you guys are seeing this, they are having a running schedule. You can do your research. If you do decide that this is something you want to add to your bucket list, I definitely advise you go early because it can get crowded really fast. You might even see a celebrity or two. They love to pull up to these games, but this is a very high energy tournament. I love seeing the clips online. So yeah, this is something that I want to add to my bucket list. And if you're into sports, you might want to add it to yours as well. Number 3, we have Paint Me Bear. Paint Me Bear is located within Soho. And y'all, this is the place, I don't know if you guys have seen around the internet, it's like this stoic stand-in bear, and people typically mix paint and throw the paint on it, or like paint the bear in some type of way with the colors that they like. And I've seen this so many times on the internet, but I've never seen the place that actually does it in New York City. Like no one's ever put where it actually is located, and I just never did the research. But it is located in Soho, and they do have 3 different size bears. They have a 9, a 10, and a 13-inch bear. The The size of the bear that you pick will determine the price that you're gonna pay. The cheapest bear is $75, so this is more of an expensive activity. Number 4 is Thompkins block party. Y'all, block parties in New York City is one of those things that has never lost its touch. It's always so much fun, and I feel like now that I'm an adult, I have not been to a block party in so long that I'm just truly excited to go and experience it. Thompkins block parties typically goes on every Sunday. They skip at least one Sunday a month, so I'll put the flyer with the dates here. But it's typically on Sundays from about 12 to 5. It is an open street fair, so you can go and shop with some of the local vendors, but you can also just go walk and enjoy the lively music, enjoy the company of other people who actually live in New York City or are visiting New York City. It's just a fun time. People just love to go because it's Sunday, it's a chill day. People love to just be outside. So for the specific location, you can actually start at 343 Tompkins Avenue. There's different starting points, but if you need a starting point, 343 Tompkins Avenue, you can go and kind of like do your walk down Tompkins and kind of like walk around and see what's down there. I have yet to go. I've seen this. It started a couple weeks ago. The first one, a lot of people went. It was really crowded, but a lot of people who went did say they had fun. So it's something to add to your bucket list. And on top of that, it's free. And we all love free things, especially in this economy right now. So this next one is for all the jewelry lovers. Call in all the jewelry lovers to the front. This idea is charm jewelry making. I've been seeing this all over TikTok. There are a couple spots that will allow you to make charm jewelry, so like charm bracelets or charm necklaces here in the city. There are 2 places. I have the places for you guys. The first place is Brooklyn Charm. This is probably one of the most popular places that I've seen. They actually have 2 locations, one in Brooklyn and the other one in Chelsea. And then the second location that also has charm jewelry making is at Beadcraft, and this is located on 146 West 29th Street. So you can either go to either of these places. The Brooklyn Charm one is probably the most popular one, so it might be a little bit more crowded. If you want to make this an at-home thing, invite some friends over. You also can get supplies from Michael's. They also have charms, and I'm pretty sure they have necklaces. If not, you can buy the necklaces off of Amazon. You might need a couple other supplies like tweezers to kind of put on the charms, but this is something that you can also make an at-home date out of. You can bring friends over and kind of enjoy each other's company with this. I personally love jewelry, so this is something that I want to do this summer for sure. The next idea is Roosevelt Island. Y'all, I've been living in New York City for 27 years. And none of those years have I had the opportunity to visit Roosevelt Island. To be honest, I didn't learn about Roosevelt Island until probably like a couple years ago. And I know I'm not the only one. There are a lot of other New Yorkers, native New Yorkers at that, who have never visited Roosevelt Island. Better yet, probably do not even know how to get over there. Roosevelt Island is a little island off of Manhattan. I've been seeing Roosevelt Island being talked about a little bit more and more, so I feel like a lot more people are going over there and exploring what there is to do over there. So I think we all need to change that if we have never visited Roosevelt Island and just kind of experience it at least once in our lifetime. So one of the cool things about Roosevelt Island is just how to get over there. They do have what's called a Roosevelt Island tramway. This is basically a cable car that goes across Manhattan to the island, and it gives a aerial view of like the city. Super, super pretty from the videos that I've seen. You can pick this tramway up at 60th Street and 2nd Avenue. It costs the price of a single swipe of a MetroCard, so $2.90 as of right now, and you do have to pay both ways. So if you go to Roosevelt Island, you'll pay $2.90, and then to come back, you have to pay $2.90 again. The tramway runs about every 7 to 15 minutes. It may vary during rush hour, but you can also take the ferry or the F train to Roosevelt Island as well. From what I've seen from videos regarding Roosevelt Island, they do have a lot of parks, a lot of nature, and it has such pretty views of New York City's skyline. As a native New Yorker, I don't know, I just never get tired of seeing the New York City skyline. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world, to me at least. Roosevelt Island is also home to Cornell Tech's college campus, so you can go there, walk around, and explore what the campus is like. And on top of that, the island does offer a free, yes, I said free, red bus that goes around the island, which is a great way to explore the island, see what's out there, check out some of the restaurants. And if you've been needing a break from the hustle and bustle of New York City, definitely would recommend Roosevelt Island. But I'll also recommend number 7 on the list, which is Governor's Island. Governor's Island is one of my favorite places in the city. It is the perfect getaway without having to leave New York. I used to go to Governor's Island all the time before New York City got shut down with the pandemic, but I have yet to visit since 2019. So I really am excited to change that. They've done so much work since I've last visited. They've added so many things like the QC NY spa. Now you can go to the spa on the island. Like they've added different restaurants and just other activities that people can go and enjoy. To get over to Governor's Island, you will need to take the ferry. There are a couple spots you can catch the ferry from, but the main location is in Manhattan. If you are taking the train to go to the ferry, you can take the 4 train to Bowling Green, or you can take the NQ and the R to, I think it's White Street South Ferry. And then after you get off the train, you'll need to walk like a little bit. But the main location in Manhattan is at 10 South Street, which is the Battery Maritime building. So there you'll be able to buy your ticket. Y'all, why are the tickets $5? And it doesn't sound like a lot because $5 is not much, but back in the day, and I feel so old for saying it like that, but really back in the day, like 2019, the tickets were $2 for a round trip, and now it's $5. So you can already see how much COVID has played in like increasing some of our prices. Everything is going up. With the ticket, it's a round trip ticket, so you only need to purchase the ticket one time. Governor's Island is typically open all year round from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. In the summer, the hours differ a little bit. So from Memorial Weekend to Labor Day weekend, in the week, it's open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. However, on Friday and Saturday, it is open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So you have an extra hour to spend there. If you are someone who lives in Brooklyn, they do have a Brooklyn location where you can pick up the ferry. Please note that it only runs in Brooklyn on Saturdays, Sundays, and whenever the holiday falls on a Monday. So like Labor Day and Memorial Day always falls on a Monday. That's when the ferry will run in Brooklyn as well. So for the Brooklyn locations, you can pick up the ferry at Pier 6 at Brooklyn Bridge Park, or you can pick it up at Red Hook at Atlantic Basin. On the island, a lot of the food is very, very expensive, especially because it's imported in. So you also are allowed to bring in food and drinks if you want. One of my favorite parts about Governor's Island, they do have hammocks. So if you want to go and lay in a hammock and relax, you can do that. I also advise to bring sunglasses because every time when I've went, the sun is always beaming and there's not a lot of places to catch shade in. So always, always, always bring some sunglasses, maybe even a hat to kind of shade you from the sun. And the last thing about Governor's Island, they have also added this restaurant over the last couple years. And this summer, I'm gonna go there because I wanna experience this, but it's called Gitiano. And it's essentially a restaurant that gives you a little taste of Tulum while you're in New York City. The aesthetic of it is super nice. It's open for brunch, lunch, dinner, and it has like kind of a beach club vibe where you can kind of lounge as well. The next idea I have on the list is for the people who love partaking in big bag activities. If you love eating, if you're a foodie, these suggestions are for you, okay? Lately, I've been on this route, but I love, love, love food festivals when it comes to New York City. That's one thing they do not play with. In the summertime, they call all the local vendors, all the different food vendors to make sure people are having a great time exploring different food options in New York City. That's one thing I can say. New York City actually hosts one of the largest weekly open air food markets here in America. And you probably know about it. It's called S'moresburg. S'moresburg is one of my favorite places to go visit and try some of the different food and dessert vendors that they offer. They do have 3 different locations across the weekend. So on Fridays, they host S'moresburg at the World Trade Center. On Saturdays, they host S'moresburg in Williamsburg. And on Sundays, they host S'moresburg in Prospect Park. Each of those days, it is open from about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can go and try the different food vendors. I'm pretty sure there are different vendors for each location. So you can try to hit all 3 of them in one weekend or try to spread it out over the course of the summer. So far, I've been to the one in Williamsburg and I've been to the one in Prospect Park last year. I love the Williamsburg one because I think it's a little bit larger in space. So they do have a lot more vendors. The Prospect one is really great for a chill Sunday and they do have a lot of good food vendors there as well. I have never been to the World Trade Center one, but that is on my bucket list to try this summer. And on the same note of food festivals, there are a lot of food markets as well. So they do have night markets. They're hosted on different days. So they do have a BK night market, which is in Brooklyn. They have a Bronx night market, and then they also have a Uptown night market. I don't know too much about the Bronx and the Uptown night market, but for the Brooklyn one, it's typically hosted every last Monday of the month. You can go and do your research on this. I'm pretty sure you can type it in on Google or on Instagram and a lot of information will come up. It's typically located within like the Sunset Park area, I think in Industry City. So you can do your research on that. But those are food markets you can also check out as well. Number 9 is movies in the park. Y'all, I miss being a kid and having summer break because this is one of the activities that I used to do all the time with my friends. When we had summer break, we would go down to Brooklyn Bridge Park, bring our blanket, bring some food, and just watch a movie in the park. And this is one of the activities that I have not done in a while. I want to try to change that this summer, but they do have movies at Brooklyn Bridge Park. It's typically hosted every Thursday evening. I will add the link down below in the description box so you can see the different movies that they have lined up for this summer. 2 of the movies that they had on the list that I would want to see are Mean Girls and Creed. Even though I've watched them before, the atmosphere is totally different when you watch it in a park. Like, it's just totally different. And then on top of that, Bryant Park also does the same thing, so you can go watch their movies. They do have a couple good movies that I've seen, which is Forrest Gump, Titanic, and also How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. They have other movies. You can go on their website as well and see the lineup that they have for this summer. Oh my god, we're at number 10. So the 10th idea is to visit a museum. We have a lot of museums here in New York City. Just to name a few, we have the MoMA, we have the Met, we have Brooklyn Museum, the Transit Museum, we also have the American Natural History Museum, and that's only to name a few. There are a lot more that you can visit. The American Museum of Natural History has a hip-hop exhibit going on right now called Ice Cold, and it basically celebrates the hip-hop culture through jewelry. So I really want to see this. They do have a couple of famous pieces from some of the hip-hop stars, such as Nicki Minaj, Biggie, Slick Rick, A$AP Rocky, and more. So this is something that I really want to go see, especially before a lot more people learn about it. There's also a Biggie museum that I realized has been opened by his daughter. I don't think a lot of people know about this one yet, so I'm gonna let you guys in on the little secret before a lot more people know about it. You can find them on Instagram at The Biggie Experience. I'll put it across the screen. And the museum is open from Thursday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is something that I need to experience, especially for the fact that it was opened by his daughter. I need to visit this at the top of the summer before more people learn about it. And the last thing I forgot to add regarding museums, the Brooklyn Museum always has what is considered the first Saturday of the month. It's essentially like a little party inside of the museum. A lot of people come out. The tickets are free. Just make sure you get them ahead of time because a lot of the times they're like first come, first serve, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, every first Saturday of the month, Brooklyn Museum has a party going on, and this happens even outside of the summer. So if you do come and it's not summertime, they do have this going on. But I know for the summertime, it's probably going to be a lot more lively since a lot of people are visiting or just have a break from work. So this is something you can add to your list. Number 11 is to visit a live studio audience. I have dreamed of doing this since I was younger. I really wanted to go on 106 in Park, but at the time, the age limit for 106 in Park, I think, was 16, and I wasn't 16 at the time. And then by the time I turned 16, 106 in Park was shutting down, so I never got to go. So being a part of a live studio audience has always been my dream, and hopefully I could change it this year, if not between now and next year. There are a lot of shows that are taped in New York City. The one I really want to visit is the Sherry Shepherd show. Didn't even realize it was shot here in New York City. And a lot of the times, the live studio audience tickets are free, which is a great part. The only thing is that they're always high in demand, so typically they go really fast. So if you're someone who wants to do this, I definitely recommend going on daily and just checking to see what's available, because sometimes there might not be something available and then sometimes they may. So just kind of check daily so you know what is available. Number 12 is a pasta making class. I've been seeing people do this on TikTok and it looks like a lot of fun. There are a couple different places in New York City that allows you to do this, so you just kind of got to pick the best one for you. On the New York City bucket listers, they do have a listing for gnocchi making and pasta making parties. So you can go there and make some pasta. From the video I've seen on TikTok, you also do get wine. I'm pretty sure unlimited wine while you're there. And the second place is Aunt Jake's. It's funny because I only found Aunt Jake's because they commented, and the person who did the gnocchi making saying come to Aunt Jake. Person who was handling the social media said you can get a 3-course meal and you're able to take the pasta home. Either one, if you are interested in making pasta, those are 2 ideas of where you can go. Okay, so number 13 is Olfactory NYC. This is for all the fragrance lovers out there. Y'all know I love fragrance, so this is one of my favorite places to be. I've been once before and I definitely want to go again. But if you're someone who is interested in creating your own custom scent, this is a place that you need to visit. They do have 3 locations now in New York City. They just recently opened their Williamsburg location, I think probably a year ago or something, but they do have locations in West Village on Bleecker Street as well as Nolita on Mott Street as well. And they also open locations in DC too. So I love that they're growing and getting more recognition. They are open from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday to Friday. And then on weekends, they're open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So while you're there, you'll have the opportunity to pick a base scent, and then you'll work with the person at the scent bar to pick out different fragrance notes to kind of create your own custom scent. And it will run you about $85. I don't think that includes tax, so just be mindful of that. You can reserve your spot ahead of time, or you can do a walk-in. It's a great idea for anyone who wants to do a solo date, go with your partner or your friends or your family. And you can also do this as a group activity. You just have to let them know and reserve in advance. Number 14 is mini golf at Pier 25. I just recently came up on this. I've never seen this before, but if you're someone who's into golfing or doing mini golf, this is an activity that is located within Manhattan at 225 West Street. You don't need to reserve ahead of time, but you will need to get tickets once you are there. It is $12 as of right now for adults and $5 for kids. And it is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. And number 15, the last one, I would be remiss if I didn't suggest going to rooftop parties in general in New York City during the summer, as well as brunch. In the summertime, those activities, they just bring life to the city. When it comes to parties in New York City, there are a lot of people who host parties, but one of the things I would say is really great to look for specific DJs who kind of align with the music you want to hear, as well as looking up some of these places that host these parties on a daily basis. Okay, so some of the suggestions include Everyday People Party. I've been to a few of them. They're a lot of fun. Everyday People Party hosts this party every weekend, but they host them in different cities, so they're not always in New York. I'll include the schedule here so you can see when they are in New York City. If you're not from New York, you can also see when they come to your city. We also have Beautiful Faces. I think I've been to one Beautiful Faces party. I don't remember, but I'll try to just post all the flyers on the screen. The next thing is 9 a.m. Banger. Y'all, the party literally starts at 9 a.m. like 9 a.m. in the morning. People are just having a great time enjoying this. I went to one of their events back in May, I think it was. It was so much fun. I didn't get there at 9 a.m. I think I got there about almost 11, but it was a lot of fun. People were just enjoying the music, enjoying the vibes. And the one I went to was specifically R&B, so it was straight R&B music. Jay Holiday ended up coming out, and the great thing about it, it ends by like 3 p.m. so you can still have the rest of your day to enjoy. But yeah, I would really suggest going to that. It's super fun, and it's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing because God knows I'm not going to a party at 9 a.m. all the time. Another company that I've seen that hosts parties is Sold Out Dates. And aside from that, there are also places that host parties all the time. Some of these parties are hosted at places like Taj Lounge, Sunset BK, Rooftop, Shemansky. So if you want to just see some of the events that are hosted at those places, you can research that. There's also a page on Instagram that will show some of the activities and things that's happening in the summer. So you can look up pgl.events on Instagram. It stands for Pretty Girls Love, and then whatever the event is. I'm trying to give you guys all the ideas. I've seen someone say you can go on posh.vip to see a lot of the events that are hosted, specifically like parties and rooftop parties that are hosted in New York City. So those were my 15 ideas to help you plan out your summer bucket list for New York City this summer. I hope that you guys truly found this helpful. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys are planning to do one of these, or if you have more ideas for me to add to my summer bucket list. I will list more activities that you can do in the description box. There is literally something always going on in New York City. That is what makes the summer the best time. There are a few Instagrams that I like to go on to kind of see what is happening in New York City. One of my favorites is NYC _for free. This person puts up a lot of the different pop-ups and free events that goes on here. The last thing to note is, although there are some free things to do in New York City, if you are visiting New York, please do not come to New York City without money. New York City is very expensive. Sometimes stepping out the house, you already know $100 is gonna be withdrawn from your account. Between the events, between the food, between transportation, if you're someone who doesn't want to take MTA, you're gonna be taking Ubers. Ubers will cost you. So please make sure you're being mindful that New York City is fun, but New York City costs, okay? It costs to have a good time. Do not forget to check out the description box for details regarding all the activities that I touched on today. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button in case you're new here. Stay a little longer. Have a fun and safe summer. And until next time, bye guys.